the decider here. It's 1-1, both in matches and in this series. This match will decide going into the upper leagues who has the lead and who's trailing. Oh, wow. The indicators. Beautiful. As long as they're on point. My largest pet peeve of pet peeves, of which I have many, is it might be canceling your first larva accidentally, but that one doesn't come up so often. But it's when the indicators, like they do a expansion indicator. There's a 2v2 map that has this issue. An expansion indicator, except it's off. Like it's just off. J-Back, not that. This one. Darkness, the void. JK, no void. Like on that 2v2 map where it's like No, that's not a good example. Like, I hate it so much. I hate it so, like, why? Why would you even bother? Why would you even do that? Just don't put an indicator. Just don't bother. Oh my god. I think it's because they had an indicator and then they moved the mineral line slightly without moving the indicator. And then, since we haven't updated team maps in approximately 3 millennia, well, oh my god, rocks and ramps and rocks, rock ramps, ramp rocks. Ah, yes. Dustin, a big fan. What's not to love? I like how there's a ramp with rocks and then there's a ramp of rocks. Just in case. Jimmy! Another quick glitch in the matrix there. That drone. Ugh. Probes, the worst. Who was it that said probes are the worst? It was Lindriel. Zwag said cannons were the unit that should be nerfed. Though, I think a lot of players took it to be like, I don't like this unit, as opposed to legitimately, it should be nerfed. Like, which is fine. Overlord gliding in. Not much to see. Alindriel not confident in walling off the low ground. We'll see if that ends up costing him. Robotics facility is the choice. And make sure, I think the full version of this match will end up on the second channel, by the way, guys. That's kind of what the point of the second channel originally was before I started doing playthroughs. Was for, like, the the 4 hour, because we're at 2 hours and we're not even halfway done. So, though some of the highlights, maybe our Bronze League match, at least so far, will make it to the main one. So that way we can promote the second one, but make sure. I know most of you are already. It's a little depressing. I've gotten way more subscribers on the second channel than the main one. By, like, several times over in the last few months. Which, I guess, makes sense, but I don't... Because... Overnap. Most people search StarCraft 2 nowadays that aren't already watching to say, like, oh, I remember. Oh, wait a second. People are still playing games. I didn't know that. It's like, well, were you trying to know that? You sound like someone who doesn't play StarCraft 2. It's like, well, yes. Not like there's a huge amount of new content lately. Nowadays, if you don't get a new skin for your favorite waifu in your favorite game that is completely, like, you don't even see your skin because you're in first person, then is it really even content? I'm just saying. That's why Stormgate, I'm very much looking forward. Like, there's so much opportunity. Because you actually see your own shit in the RTS game. Like, you see every one of your units. You're not looking through their eyes. No, that might be an experience. So. So you can enjoy the curves and the angles and the shapes. And I understand what things are made out of. I understand geometry. Wow, this map is very much like Cloud Kingdom. Actually, it was more like the Eternal Empire. What was the like sandy map? It was a yellow map, like, but it was very Cloud Kingdom-y. That we played for several years. Eternal Empire? I want to say something like that. There's no watchtowers here is the difference, but... Zwag is... Oh yeah, there's a game going on, by the way, but so far, one probe and one OV have been lost, so... Not a whole ton of action so far. A third base for Elendriel. It's game 3, alright? It's all on the line. We're not going to take any risks. Or whatever we might deem risks are. Charge. Extended thermal lance. We're at 50 probes to 63 drones, but we saw last game Zwag, while he was able to gather the resources, spending them was a significantly more difficult proposition. Significantly. The drones. Some of the drones headed back. Okay, all right. I mean, too many drones. Elendriel's putting together some defenses. A little supply blocked. Both sides pretty supply blocked right now. Elendriel finishes a pylon. Zwag is building 7 Ovies. As just progressing up the supply count is already quite an ordeal. Oh, Zwag took down some of the ramp rocks. As the game continues. I mean, it's not like their APMs are low. Building units. Both of them would fail the low APM challenge. Honestly, they're both looking to max out 10, maybe 11 minutes, unless we have a random attack. Which it seems like Zwag is really trying to keep himself from doing that attack. Because in game 1, it worked out, but we're already well past that point. In game 2, the I guess I'll attack with whatever units I happen to have built strategy did not serve him quite as well. It didn't work out so great. So you can kind of see the active effort to keep his units from going across the map. As we are reaching into double-digit time. Hive is done. All right, so he's got a hive. We got a hive done at 9.5 minutes here. Which is good to have, in case you need it. So, 7 more Ovies, which is maybe a bit on the much side. Considering he's at 182. There's the Lurker Den. We have now successfully reached the 10-minute mark without a single army unit, unless you maybe count an observer dying. I think part of this is neither player has played the map, so they're just like, I know you're over there, but I'm not entirely confident I know how to get there. So we continue to add more upgrades. Alindriel is now maxed as well. The army compositions. We have 2 Colossi, 3 Templar, 3rd Colossus is finishing, and that, I think, the army is in favor of Alindriel in just a A-move scenario. As Roach Hydraling against well upgraded. Oh, he's making a Lurker, though he's at 200 supply, so that does prevent him from making any additional Lurkers, at least at this moment. He's finished his very first Lurker. All right. The Observer may spot it. We now have Observer Speed on the way. There's a drone. That's quite a hatch. He burrows the Lurker. Alright. He has enough supply for a couple more now. Not enough for an overwhelming strike force, but I think he wants to get rid of some supply here. So we might see something resembling an attack. The 12-minute mark. The Natural has no wall, but here's the army. This is certainly freeing up supply. I'll get a Zealot or two, I guess. But he's got double Spire on the way behind him. The Zerglings! Unfortunately, the shield... And then he remaxes on Hydras. He may have forgotten why he sent that attack out. Because you just... Okay. Well, attention deficit Zerg is a real affliction, and it affects many Zergs below the Diamond League, and in the Diamond League as well. ADZ may affect someone in your family. Alright, get help today. Switch to Protoss. That one Lurker, though, is there an Observer here? No, there is no Observer nearby. That Lurker is underneath the whole army doing maximum damage, which really isn't that much, because it's just one Lurker. Alright. I mean, it's probably doing the most damage. The beautiful storms. The Lurker's still trying. Unfortunately, well, yeah, the Lurker... about 23 Hydras on the way. The Lurker did damage the whole time, but one Lurker is just simply not enough. It's not enough Lurker. He doesn't really have any gas, because he keeps building Hydras, which are, of all the units... certainly one of them. It's not going great for Mr. Zwag here. Another Lurker comes out, but this one having a bad day. And unfortunately, it looks like the lasers are a bit too strong. As Zwag with 5,500 minerals, he's building some more drones, which and some more Hydras, which are definitely 2 of the units you can build, but possibly the 2 worst in this scenario. The drones are fighting. The Colossi, 16 kills, 25, 30 kills. He did finish those 2 Spires, but unfortunately wasn't quite inspired here. And is gonna be tapping it out. Okay. It all fell apart. Unfortunately, he sent out that attack to free up supply and then refilled his army with things even more vulnerable. The pressure too great, and the Spartans are out to an early lead. If only it was 2 lurkers. Maybe that would have made the difference. We're moving to our platinum match with Michigan State up 2-1. It is Luke Rest, aka Luke, versus Gattaca. They both have some strong thoughts. Secretary Mario with 36 kills in that past match. Quite a deficit there, but let's see if his teammate can learn from his struggles. We have, for the University of Michigan Wolverines, Gattaca, the Zerg in the blue. Up a couple leagues. We're in platinum now. And on the other side, it is Luke. For the Spartans. We're gonna see their opinions on the game and the meta momentarily. Let us first, for Michigan State. I don't think we actually have anything from Luke, despite showing up in 2 matches. So I'm gonna say I'm going to make things up. Luke, his favorite player is Max Pax. He just likes his name. He doesn't know how he plays. And also, he thinks that Viper should be nerfed because he's never used a control group for his army in his career, and he thinks using them is OP. That's what he thinks. Or so I've heard. Gad, on the other hand, his favorite player, he says, is Ragnarok. Which is quite a bold choice. Ragnarok, the perpetual underdog Zerg. And he says the unity thing should be nerfed will be the Widow Mine. He says, if all my Terran opponents mine drop me, I'd lose 100% of the time. Which is echoing the sentiment of his gold teammate, the Protoss, who also said Widow Mines suck. They should, that if they drop my mineral line, I die. It's dumb. So it appears Michigan has a certain, not a big fan of Minecraft players. Overall. So, Luke now with +1. This is a Forge Fast Expand. Okay, no, I would say Fast Expand, but he didn't expand. So it's just a Forge. And it's not a Cannon Rush. That is a hard supply block here with the Chrono. Luke. Despite all of this, there's already Roaches and Ravagers. I'm not sure, well, a very Ragnarok-esque Roach timing. He's ready to Ragnarok and roll. Where did that Adept go? Back into the I have no idea where the Adept went. Is it dead? Did it die? I guess it died. Well, unfortunately, despite being on one base, the Roach Ravager, he's just gonna walk by, and there's no units because of the supply block. And then now he's going to fight, which is not necessarily the ideal timing. There's no unit in the wall. The Zerglings are coming in. A bit of a hectic start. The Zerg, he's getting out of the way. He's getting back in the way. He's getting out of the way again. 6 drones on the way for Gad over here. In fact, he was only at 16 workers, but he's now starting to do some real economic damage. A very aggressive start to this series, as both players kind of try to backhand each other. Well, they try to go for punches, but I think they end up hurting their own wrists more than they end up getting close to knocking out the other player. As well, that what looked like it might be a game-ending attack is blunted somewhat. But at the same time, Luke has not expanded and doesn't really have... He has +1 attack for all 4 of his heroic units. Gat is going to lair and a third with 24 drones, and that, which is a bit optimistic. And another robo. There's an overlord here, and that will supply block, though there's one more on the way for Gat. The Twilight. Luke may not have realized that he is still on one base. Like, he's doing it. He's gonna run out of minerals. He's playing like he has 3 bases right now, but so far we've seen a lot of players kind of chart their own course and do their own calculations as to what they can and cannot afford on these bases. Spore Crawler's on the way. Roach speed. Not sure what prompted the spore. Can never be too careful. All right.
Evolution complete.
Luke. Proto-Wing. He's thinking about the expand. He's gonna slap a pile. He's still a long way. He doesn't have any minerals to really expand. He's not even really close to having those 400 minerals. But he queues up another, I believe that was an immortal. But he really wants to expand. Alright. But then he keeps spending his money, so he can't. This is definitely an amount of roaches. It is not nearly enough, but they'll scamper away a little more quickly now with speed done. Well, with any amount of Zerglings, things get more interesting. Neither player with a huge economy, but Luke is still... Yeah, still on 2 bases. So... I mean, I keep saying 2 bases out of reflex, but he's actually just long-distance mining from his natural now. Yeah, at this rate, you're never going to get an expansion if you keep building pylons and zealots.
Not all battles are won through numbers alone.
Well, there's a move command. Oh, he right-clicks on the Immortal, the A-click. The Immortal is kind of an important part. Well, he actually he's recalling it. The War Prism comes in, wondering exactly where that Immortal went. I don't know. He did not save it. He lost it, which is not ideal. Some questionable micro from Luke. The probe, this seems to be a running trend as well. The unit blocks. Unfortunate, well, okay. He's gonna, here we go again, with slightly higher economies and larger stakes here. The cannons are doing a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure he can overcharge. He doesn't have the energy. Oh, he does now. Gattaca decides he's gonna attack into a 1-base Protoss, which might be the only way to throw this game. We're gonna find out. Blink is on the way. Luke is chasing with the Prism. He has enough to expand. Oh, that's way too many roaches. He's got way too many roaches now. Oh no, it's a disaster. Alright, that's way too much. Oh, it's a mess. Gattaca, it's been an effort. He's now gotten the most drones he's ever gotten in a game before, 35, and that will carry him to victory. Quite a match. And that puts them up 1-0, but we play a best of 3. Going to Data C. It's a high-pressure situation, all right? You got dozens of people counting on you. There's a lot going on. I will say, Matt, well, neither player with a particularly macro-oriented build, but Luke did have a bit of a struggle in looking forward to getting a Nexus. We'll see. If his his previous teammate was any indication, we saw a similar match. We saw in Game 1, the Protoss Spartan failing to wall off the natural or really ever get an expansion reliably, while the Michigan player overran them with Zerglings and Roaches. And then in Games 2 and 3, we settled down, we figured out how to wall off the natural, and we ended up moving that Protoss across the map against a Zerg player who had not discovered anything outside of Lings and Lisks. So we'll have to see. Gattaca, the probe is ready for scouting. Gattaca did show a very intense interest and aggression, as has been the trend for Zerg players in these matches so far. I mean, his Zerg Rush is in the name, right? So. Luke. We're waiting for Luke. Luke, you can do it. Believe in yourself. Will he get a Nexus and a Cyber Core on the low ground? Luke, hello? Okay. No. Okay. No. I'll take 1 for 2. All right. No. A bit of a detour. Building the Zealot. But he did see a spawning pool. Of course, the spawning pool was at a very economic. Like, that's about as late as you get a spawning pool. And there's the Nexus, right on time. So, we got there. Don't worry. It was a bumpy road, okay? It's Michigan roads. You know how it is. We'll get there eventually. You'll need new tires, but that's par for the course. Winter is coming, I hear. +1 attack. Yes, the classic upgrade for those who don't know what upgrades they want. Once again for Luke. Meanwhile, Gattaca with, well, I think he'll be joining him in the +1 attack. He's clicked on it. Okay, +1 melee. We're gonna brawl it out. I think. That's assuming they actually make ground units, which is by no means a guarantee. A lair on the way. 12 Zerglings. Gattaca only at 22 drones, which is not a lot. Especially considering his opponent's up to 30 probes now. An Overlord, oh my. But 7 HP, and I think it was less as they heal slowly. Did survive. I believe the Stalker could have just must have just gotten bored, as Stalkers do sometimes. And now we're gonna find out if this Zealot is actually walling this off. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that's a wall now. Team effort. Okay. Especially once +1 is done. +1 allows those Zealots to kill Zerglings in just 2 swipes instead of 3. Pretty significant damage increase. +1 melee certainly doesn't hurt for the Zerglings, but... Alright. He recognizes and respects Luke's ability to jam those units in the wall. So, Gattaca, what's it gonna be? He just finished a Bane Nest. Okay, so that's a fleet beacon. He got a Stargate. He's immediately getting a fleet beacon. Clearly, this is for a mothership rush. MSU, mothership, unit, yeah. Conspiracy. I don't know. But it is +1 attack into Fleet Beacon, which is certainly... It's not unheard of. Well, Carrier. Once he... it truly feels like Luke was building up ground units, and then at some point, Carriers just exploded into his head. Like, that's it. Like... Because he went Stargate into immediate Fleet Beacon after getting +1 melee, like, or +1 ground. And now he is fully committed to the carrier path.
Confirmed.
Thank you, Lemon. 98 months.
Thanks.
Which is how long it might be until these two fight. Baneling speed is done. Gattaca, I don't think is going to wait quite that long. A carrier has arrived. There's not that much. There's some cannons, a shield battery, but a dozen banelings could easily get through most of that. Chrono boosting carriers, trying to chrono boost the other carriers. A little light on the pylons, unfortunately. +1 air weapons is done. There is nothing... there's more queens on the way. Queen's always a strong choice. Evolution chamber. Even thinking about a third. And there's a Zergling watching. Okay. He's gonna know. A Zergling even going for the probe. I mean, because it's nearby. That's how Zerglings do. Oh. Does he not want to show that army? Never be too careful. Yep. Gattaca. The carrier count. He doesn't know this yet. He's sending an OV in. A Slovy. At 7.5 minutes. Like, he'll get there. Eventually. Like a minute. Gattaca, despite only having 49 drones, still managing to bank up 1,200 minerals. Just Zergling things. The Injects are not quite as diligent as they could be. Alright, the OV. He's getting... he should... like, technically he sees the... I think he saw the carrier building. Yeah, we got some Spore Crawlers on the way. Hydralisk Den is certainly one of the choices you can make. There is a frantic pace here. And then... 26 more Zerglings, which I'm not sure are quite as good at countering carriers, but here we go. The Banelings rolling in. The Zerglings, the Banelings are looking towards the natural. We got a 2-pronged attack. The carriers have arrived. He pulls back. What about part 2? Part 2! And the probes are transferring! What a timing! He gets 2. Well, he gets distracted easily as well, but the probes are on the run! This is the real action! I mean, like, it could have been worse. And also, yeah, there's one thing to note, and it's that there are a bunch of carriers. He got some probes. He got... The attention deficit Zergs are strong even on both teams tonight. As just a strong... Even a whiff of an opportunity is enough to get those banelings distracted. Here come the queens! Going for the carriers! I mean, that's a lot of carriers, though. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah, that's not it. Those are +2 carriers. Well, looks like we're going to another game 3. Here comes some Hydras. I'm sure that'll make the difference. He's microing the carriers, which is making him feel like a pro gamer, I bet. But, alright. Well, there you go. All tied up. So, Zergling's not well known as a counter to carriers, despite our repeated efforts to prove it otherwise. Well, Zergling's not well known as a counter to Protoss below the Raynor level, really. Overall. But I'm always looking to adjust my expectations. Game 3. We're going to Starchild again. Alright. Once they're ready. Dr. Allen the Gauntlet. Racked up 19 kills. I'm sure he would have continued as well. Here we go. A reprise. All tied up 1-1. The probe making its way downtown, gliding fast. But is it walling off the natural? Yes? Alright, and I'll let this probe take you on a journey momentarily as I get some more water. Now seems like the best time as... I doubt either player's going to be super aggressive. We're trying to get through these matches with no downtime. They're not short. I'm glad to watch, but also they're not short. Did I miss all the action? Wait, is this the same probe? Or did I follow the wrong one? The probe came back and now it's retired to mining Vespine gas. After seeing the world. That is certainly a wall-off. Oh, the sentry tried to out-micro the Overlord. The Overlord on the run! The sentry, the tickle beams are too much! He said, please, no, it's too much tickling. And the sentry said, I know. And its globe turned red, so you knew it was evil. And then the Overlord died. That's how it went down. That Nexus feels a bit on the later side. But it is... Yeah, we got a Stargate on the way. The carriers work quite well. As oftentimes they do. Gattaca here. We'll see if he got any tips, maybe less Zerglings and more Drownlings, or Aspire even. Plus 1 air. Yeah, it looks like Luke has settled on his strategy. Luke knows what he wants, and what he wants is to sit in his base and build carriers. And I lied. That's a Void Ray. Because he can't afford a fleet beacon quite yet. We got Baneling speed on the way. But Gattaca looks like he's gonna make it above 50 drones, or very close, without... and there are the Zerglings. I thought we might make it all the way to 50 drones without random Zerglings, but so close. Well, Stargate is spotted. Gattaca staring... Wait, let's go to his camera. Yeah, we got Spore Crawlers. And 18 more Lings. I do want to take this time to remind our viewers that Zerglings, despite their wings, cannot fly, nor hit air units, which makes them a less than ideal counter to air units. This has been a public service announcement. Alright, another OV. The wings are there like for like turkeys. They help them fly a little bit. Like they do a little jumping thing to help them move faster, but they're like flightless birds. The closest thing to Zerglings is like a predatory chicken. Like a very large, like a chicken dog. A lesser type of Zerg. If you would. A dog-sized chicken. Yes. Something like that. Storm. As we continue to fill in all the things that make our Meta League players upset that Protoss exists. Roach Warren is on the way. +2 melee, +1 carapace. We're going to repeat the experience of climbing most of the tech tree on Starchild here, the winner of the Team Liquid map contest. cool to be playing it, but when faced with the unknown, many players will play very conservatively. We've got a Hydra Den. We've got a Spire. We got 11 more drones for Gattaca, which will rival the 60-something here for Luke. No Fleet Beacon, just Void Rays. And Void Rays, this is one of the few units Hydras can counter. Of course, Hydras against anything else are a little less than ideal. There is no charge. Is there a Twilight? There is a Twilight, which was there for the Templar archives. We're filling things in. We're getting there. Okay, so this is also a public service announcement. You're allowed to go above the 16. It just does slightly less up until 24, because the probes will have to wait for other probes to finish mining. It isn't illegal to go above 16 workers. Though, oh, looks like Luke has realized that after a moment of contemplation. I know it turns red. It really should turn yellow until 24 and then turn red, but... Alright, Luke has decided this is the army. What do we got? We got 3 Archons, 3 Void Rays, 4 Templar, 3 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, a Sentry. What does Gattaca have? He's got 33 Lings and 4 Hydras. And he's getting some Banes. Wait, there's rocks there. Yeah, you go through the rocks, go round the rocks. It's a lot of options. It's 2 options. And it's more than 1. We got some Corruptors on the way. Charge is finishing up there. Carriers, he may have encouraged him to build Corruptors here. Yeah. Okay, Archons. Oh, well, hello. Okay. Honestly, I have no idea. Beautiful Storm. Yeah, it's not gonna get better. Ooh, I don't know. So Gattaca attacked his own extractor with his units. He A-clicked on his own extractor, which did not help. It appears the Hydraling Bane still not quite doing it for Zerg players so far. The Corruptors, well, here come the Queens. And a bit of target fire out of Luke means Gattaca will defend. The micro attempt there definitely helping out Gattaca. Both players attempting to micro, much to their detriment. And that means instead of a game-ending attack, the Knitting Crew will throw the Zealots back. Gattaca might have an opportunity to spend that nest egg he's built up during all this. Carriers have arrived. Only 2 of them. He only has 2 Stargates, and he's only using half of those, so... Meanwhile, Gattaca at 73 drones, which is obviously plenty for him. The income still in favor of the Zerg, though not by that much. Hive on the way. We got 3 Evo Chambers, we got 2 Spires. And several of them have been used. +1 Flyer Carapace here. In fact, the Corruptors, is there any other anti? There's Archons and Templar. This, well. Hello. Does he know about Caustic Spray? Yes. Okay. He's spraying all over the Nexus. Considered inappropriate except after football games. Well, there goes... The thing is, that was not the 4th base, but instead the 5th. Or 6th. No, 5th base. Hello. That probe standing very, very still. Meanwhile, the Baneling swarms. the Zerg. If you don't move, they can't notice you, which is true. They are very movement-oriented. Why do you think they have a speed upgrade for everything? All right, so Archon Carrier. Some roaches on the field here, which is not a bad choice. A scary army for both sides. Depending on the Corruptor positioning, down goes a Carrier. Good start for Gattaca. But here come the Archons. Where are the Corruptors going? The entire ground. He's trying to right-click on the Nexus. Oh no, he started the Caustic Spray. He stopped the Caustic Spray. He's flying over the Archons, which is not the ideal. Ooh. Yeah, he's gonna get all but one Ooh. Yeah. Oof, owie, my Zerg bones. Oof, owie, my Carapace. Well, he's got Roach Hydra on the way, which isn't a terrible choice here, but... Unfortunately, Archons exist. Much to the dismay of Zerg players. And, yeah, there's still some storms in there. Still a bit messy. Gattaca still has enough money for approximately 80 more supply of Hydras, but I don't think he has the production. He doesn't have the larva, nor the rally points for it. And that means, once again, Michigan State will turn it around. Carried to victory. And it's 3-1. And Luke is not done. That is oh. Wait, is he done? I can't. Wait. Yeah, he is done. Why did you put Luke twice on the thing? Never mind, he's done. He's done. He's out. He's out. We didn't have him twice in a row. That would have been kind of weird, I thought. We do have a Yuri. Okay, we're gonna go with the off colors. We're gonna go with the away colors on this one. For the low diamond match. Now, we can't set the player colors as white. We're gonna have light pink versus yellow. It's another Protoss versus Zerg. Michigan State versus Michigan in that order. We'll see. Lose Theron.